all right, I get it. You're spiritual because you meditate, you feel energies, you work with crystals, tarot cards, pendulums, you have your chakras aligned, you do yoga, qigong, sexual energy cultivation, you do manifestation practices, gratitude journaling, you know what star system you're from, you're a star seed, you're an indigo, this, whatever that, right? You remember your previous incarnations and all this stuff. Maybe you even freaking astral travel, right? But it doesn't make you spiritual. These bundles of things, these modalities, these practices, these fields are really all in some form or another construed into this frame that I call metaphysics. By metaphysical, I mean beyond what physics currently acknowledges or is currently trying to acknowledge or assess in some way. So it is beyond the traditional, common, mainstream physics. But it is nonetheless just physics. It is still of this world. Mind you, if you really go beyond and delve into the core principles and look at what is being pointed towards in many of these ancient practices, it is not just some form of modulating, of generating, of aligning, of balancing, of creating peace and harmony and being in the zone or whatever. No, it is not any of that. Spirituality, really, you cannot be spiritual, first of all. You are already spiritual by the very nature of the fact that you exist, because spirit is what we are. Metaphysics is simply our way of exploring this interaction with the subject, object, the world, the individual, and the multiple layers of dimensionality that is available in our experience being here. But that is not the core, not the essence of spirituality. Spirituality is pointing towards that which you essentially, innately, intrinsically are. And what is that, if not God, the absolute source, awareness? That is not something that you can create. It is not something you generate. It is not something that you can modulate in any way. It is not something you can become. You cannot practice to be. You are already. You are already. And so all these practices, all these modalities, all these tools, all these very many things that are all respectable, all serve their purpose, are all really just here to facilitate the recognition that is already apparent in your experience right now. So right now, just notice that you are in fact aware. You are. You exist. You know that you are. You are undoubtedly, because to say that you are not requires for you to be there to know that you are not. And so by the very fact of it, you are. And so noticing that continually over and over, that, if anything, it doesn't even require naming. It is beyond description. But if we were to describe that, that would be spiritual. That would be the essence of spirituality right there. It didn't take you years of practice. It didn't take you any meditation guidance, any yogic tools. You didn't even have to take up any certain posture, no aids, no external measures, no internal measures either, mind you. There's nothing you had to do. And there's nothing you have to do right now. Isn't that so? Because we have this idea that we are not already good enough or whatever it is. Because really, we have this investment in the idea of being somebody or being on the path to being that somebody, right? And in order to bridge that gap, so to speak, we imagine that we need various steps. And those steps are often meditation, yoga, crystals, energy work, shadow work, this and that, right? All these many things, and I could go on for very long about the whole array of things that we can make up and do. But really, what I always guide my shared practitioners to is their direct experience to what is really here. to not adopt this idea that we need to get somewhere other than now, to somewhere other than here. Because if we are to simply meet our experience as it is, without changing, without modulating, without generating, without fabricating, without trying to do anything, without the need to touch our experience, without the need to go inwards, outwards, anywhere at all. But simply being interested in what is here. Because it is so funny, we're actually not interested in our experience. We are not interested in, and for that reason we overlook the fact of our being. We're not interested. A lot of the time, I confess, I am not interested in the fact of knowing my own beingness. It is so pervasive to be distracted by the objects, the tendencies of the mind, the many things that this world has to put on display in awareness. To be distracted, to be occupied with, and despite that, in the midst of that, there is still the presence of your being. It is so hilarious in this way that what we're always incessantly looking for is here. Is nowhere not to be found because it is already all around. I trust that this little sharing will brighten the moments in your day like you're watching this video. And if that be the case, please subscribe, comment, like. I know it sounds so freaking cliche, but it sure helps the algorithm push things my way. So pass it on. Take care. Bye.